Yes, welcome back to the Tentest channel. And we just did a series. We are doing a series on why people say there are too many churches, and we just did part one of that, and this is part two in that series. For Tentest channel, we handle all the controversy, all the things people don't say. That proverbial elephant in the room, we see it in all its features, and we make sure that we do not allow people to hide behind bogus reasoning to condemn the Church of Jesus Christ. And here I'm not mentioning any particular church. I'm mentioning the Church of Jesus Christ. So we learned that actually, and that is what we are doing tonight. Now we have stated five reasons before. Maybe I'll put a link so that you go back to the part one. We stated five reasons why people say that. They think their leadership are illiterate. They think that people are being deceived of their money. They think that uh, they are they are insincere people amongst them and the rest. And then they think that they are engaged in unproductive work. And all of it, we have given counter reasons against these things because they are just not true. Um, let's go to the part two. Let's just to keep this so simple. Let's give here we are doing 10 reasons and we've done the first five, and these are the next five. For 10 things channel, we leave you in a state of complete understanding. We don't even do two or three. Bible says in the mouth of two or three witnesses is any matter established. We don't do two or three, we do five times that. We do 10. So we are doing 10 to here for you to understand that. Under no circumstance should you say that there are too many churches, because they'll be informed by one of these reasons, and none of them is really cogent. It's really true. Too many, too much noise. Actually, some churches make a lot of noise. So if they're around you, as I speak to you right now, it's 10:30 p.m. and there's a church going on, and it's right in my bedroom. And sometimes I ask myself this question, because there used to be also a bar nearby that used to make noise. That was also when we into the night. But I prefer the noise of singing, no matter how noisy it is when you start. The noise of singing to God, a constructive noise like that, to the noise of secular music or to the noise of conflict or gunshots, as found in other places where there's no music, there's no church, and yet there are gunshots. There's gun violence. You hear noise. You hear the shout of alcoholics and drug addicts and the rest. The noise of a church, which is always scheduled to close at a particular time, is better for me than any of such noises. And the people who say these things say these things while still not condemning the other noises. Sometimes with the noises of commercial activity, they don't condemn those things. That if there was a factory making noise, they won't condemn it. We have, as progressives, as people who believe in doing what you want others to do unto you, we have advised that churches to try and keep their noise um, output within the church premises to minimize it, because it can be worrying to people who want to sleep on the rest. But the experience I have gained is that the only time church noise becomes a bother is when we do not approve of the church going on at the place. Otherwise, this by the time you realize it's become like a lullaby to you, and it's all because it is sound music. It's because it's sound message that you are hearing. So it is absolutely important to put it in its right perspective, in its right context. The noise from the church is constructive, well crafted. Musicians were trained, everything put together to achieve a certain effect. Ideally, it should not come out of the church building. But looking at the limitations of developing countries and the rest, where acoustics and the rest are an issue, sometimes it comes out. These have been worked on, and over time it will be improved. But so are other, because there are other things that make noise too that have not been talked about. So that is number six, that churches make a lot of noise. So there are too many of them. Then we have the number seven thing that people usually say about church, and why there are too many of them, is that they do not pay taxes. And this notion is not only in even in developing the developing world, it's also even in the developed world. I've watched whole documentaries complaining about the churches not paying taxes. But what people fail to understand is that the income that comes to the church as offering has come out of task income. So asking for it to be taxed again double the people who have brought their income that has already been tasked. And as I said in I think in four, reason 4 or 5, most of the donations in church are also used on the very church members. It's not like the donations is used on some separate entity called church. There's the church members who also form the church. It's for their welfare, it's for the building, it's for the utilities, it's for the security protecting their drums, it's for maintenance of the building, it's for the pastor who is ministering to them. So it's for their own welfare. And yet the pastor pay tax as an employee. The pastor pays tax as an employee. In fact, every so churches pay tax. They might not pay income tax on the offering, but they pay tax on every other thing they buy through value added tax or indirect tax. Bothered about them being too many. We know of so many artisans, we know of so many contractors who do not pay tax to anybody. People doing far more noisy work, saw milling and other things, com milling, other far more noisy activities who still do not pay tax. And nobody is bothered about it. But when it comes to church, because we have an adversary in the devil, he stokes such fires against the church. So um, the church does pay tax. Because remember, the church is made up of people who pay tax, and the church is not the building; it's the people. So if I have paid tax, why is somebody asking for the income that I've already taxed income tax on? Should also be taxed again. So that is also not it's a fallacy. Now, the third reason people say there are too many churches is that because they believe church members are conservatives, and this is basically in the developed countries. In other words, any wrong, any foolish new thing that comes up, they expect the church to back it, so long as it comes in the wrapping of human rights. You know, whereas there are many things that have remained. So you will never see, even though there are some parts of the states where people are polygamous, you never see an average American lady who agrees to polygamy. And yet it is this idea has been there since Christianity came more than 2,000 years ago. Nobody calls that idea a conservative idea, or you don't see a spouse. Most spouses will not allow their spouses to cheat. That idea has been there even pre-Christianity, and nobody calls that a conservative idea. And yet when you say that marriage should be between a man and a woman, suddenly it is termed a conservative idea. So you don't want more people with such ideas. Therefore, you don't want more churches. Because, as I said in the beginning, nobody has done any polling. That says there are more churches than pubs. That says there are more churches than entertainment centers. That says that there are more churches than classrooms. That says that there are more churches than shops. So, where from this idea of too many churches? It's because of these reasons. So the church is not conservative. The church is righteous. We have a book given by God called the Bible, and that what that book says is what we do. It's not it's not being conservative. It's being righteous. Then we have number nine. The ninth reason why people claim churches are too many is because they claim that They waste too much time in church. They be that, I mean, even if church is something productive, we shouldn't waste too much time there. Why do we spend so much time in church? And what is there so much time? A typical church service lasts 3 hours, you know, and sometimes you may have meetings concerning the church, and that meeting might also take 2 or 3 hours. The question people should be asking therefore is what do they do in the church? For which reason we can term it as spending too much time. Those are the places they resolve marital issues. Those are the places they talk about people's health. Those are the people they talk about people's education. Those are the people they counsel. Those are the places they counsel people. You see, many of the people go around that people think everything is fine. It is so because of what work the church is doing on them. Many people have not lost their sanity. Many people have not become depressed because of the work being done in the church. Now, if people really know this work being done in the church, would they say we are spending too much time on helping people? No, it's because they believe we are not helping anybody. And once they have that help, they have that thinking, they will think that we are wasting my time, we are spending too much time. Every they know every minute we spend there is helping deal with somebody's sickness, it's helping deal with somebody's emotional needs, it's helping deal with somebody's social needs, accommodation needs, employment needs. Then nobody will say that we are wasting too much time, that there are too many churches, or that we are just wasting time. So that is a ninth reason why people say there are too many churches, because they think we just go there to waste time. Nobody has spoken about somebody spending too much time in the hospital. Come on, you spend too much time in the hospital. No, well, because they know this, they're working on the person. The only time people will say that is when the person is in a hospital and is not being attended to. So the reason is not the time, it's the purpose that they think the time is being put to. And I'm making you know, dear viewer, that in church, I don't know about your church, but in the churches I have been to, we don't spend time there dilly dally about issues. We spend time there learning things that will make us good citizens, committed citizens, God fearing citizens, law abiding citizens. Now, number nine says, number 10 reason why people complain about there being too many churches is because they claim Christians are not pragmatic. They claim we are so heavily focused that we have of no earthly good. That might have been for some old time, but it's not even the case for old time religion. Because even when people came here even to steal slaves, they still found time to preach to the people. You know, Christianity, there's no concept of time wasting Christianity. Bible says that we should redeem the time because the days are evil. How will a group of people with this kind of teaching waste time? You know, so we are very pragmatic. We are so pragmatic that instead of wasting time on the earth and losing eternity, we plan for even eternity while still on earth. That's how pragmatic we are as Christians. And to waste time on vices, if that's what people call pragmatism, then we don't want to have any part of it. So Christianity is very pragmatic. That is why we seek to make it here on earth and also in heaven. That's why we seek not only to live here once, but to also live in eternity. That's how pragmatic we are. We have we have worked on a life that covers both the here and now and far beyond the yonder. Those of you who are not pragmatic are those of you who have let life be only about now. Whilst you die at just some few decades, what happens to all the thousands of years that comes after us? Those are the people who are not pragmatic. Those who are thinking only about money, those who are thinking only about sex, those who are thinking only about fame and power that they will leave behind. They are ones who are not pragmatic. So Christianity is the most pragmatic religion. It is good for health, it's good for life, it's good for eternity. God bless you, even as you have listened to the 10 reasons behind why people complain, the 10 reasons behind the complaints of people that there are too many churches. I wanted to share this message comes to you. And remain blessed, you and your household. Remain blessed forevermore. Amen. Bless you. God bless.